Welcome back to Two Birds, One Stone. Garrett, it's been a little bit. How's it going, man? How's life right now? Good?
It's good. Big chilling. I bought a moped, so
That is pretty sweet, actually. I got to see it. You cruise around all over town in that little thing.
If
It's
I
bad
if I
for your carrying your golf clubs. We have
yeah
discovered that.
yeah, it's not very functional for that, and it only has one seat with no storage. So, but I finally found a use for my man purse that I have. So
Yeah,
pretty
you were getting
sweet.
enough shit for that. Now you have a purpose. I don't know how. I
Yeah,
mean, you can buy accessories and stuff for it, right? Like you can buy like a little thing for it, like a basket or something like that.
yeah, I'm gonna have to get something.
It would be really cool if you got a sidecar for your lady, a little sidecar for the moped, like you see on the Harleys and stuff.
Sidecar for the missus. Yeah, I'll figure something out.
That would be sick. Maybe I'll get one. Lots of things going on. It's been about a month since we talked. Michael Bidwell news dropped in the last couple of days. D-Hop rumors keep going. New uniforms possibly, but we'll get to all that. First, a message from our sponsor. Are you ready? As of today, March 31st, 2023, the Pigskin Podcast Network will no longer be in operation. This was a very difficult decision to make. However, the ever-changing landscape of podcasts has made this change unavoidable. We would like to sincerely thank everyone who participated in TPPN. Your hard work and dedication was truly appreciated. We got canned, dude. Our network went under. We no longer have a network. And that logo you see in your top right corner, fuck them.
Fuck
I
'em.
can't remove it. I don't know how. This is just
Broke
a template.
bitches.
This is going to be the last episode that we. I mean, are we technically sponsored by DraftKings? I guess
I
not.
don't think so. No, because they were a sponsor. The network was a sponsor of DraftKings.
So the
No,
whole thing, I explained it all when we first got it. I mean, the network reached out to us, asked if we wanted to represent the Cardinals. It's a shitty little network. Obviously, it's got like 2,000 followers on Twitter, but hey, we were like, okay, at the least we get some free software to use out of it. I mean, this background and shit like that. I had to hand make everything on our last setup, and you could tell the difference. This has obviously helped, but we never got paid. I think we're going to get a check at the end of this. Now they're going to like pay out whatever they owed us. It'll probably be $60, if that.
if it's $60, I'm gonna be shocked.
I mean, I have no idea. We'll see. But yeah, and DraftKings came along. DraftKings is why we got this stuff. I mean, they would pay the network, and the network would distribute the things out. That's all kind of behind the scenes stuff. As far as DraftKings goes, I never used it, so I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's not even. Here's the thing: if you think hard enough, it's not even legal in Missouri. So
Yeah.
put two and two together. We were just spewing bullshit the whole time, guys. Believe it or not.
I've never made a DraftKings account. I've never even had one.
Fuck DraftKings. We can say whatever we want.
Hey man, hey, and I'm gonna be honest. If I were to use a gambling, if it was even fucking legal in the state I live in to gamble, I would use fucking Barstool Sportsbook. I would never even use DraftKings.
Probably. Yeah, no. So everything we've been saying is a lie. And to the TPPN network, THPN, what I think that logo is for the hockey pot. They have a few different networks, whatever. Thank you for what you did do. But fuck you for dropping everybody at the hey, but I wanted to clarify, it's not just us. Every show that was under their umbrella was dropped. If it was just us, they went through lengthy procedures to make us not feel bad because everyone was tagged in the email. Everybody was responding, saying, "Oh, sad to go," blah blah blah. It would be hilarious if it was just us, though. But all that to say, we're looking for new sponsorship,
That's
baby.
right.
So if any of you in the
We need a
Arizona
manager.
area want to send us a DM, we'll take your
Seriously,
money.
any kind of like, oh, I don't know, car dealer.
Yeah.
We will stoop low. Drug dealer. If you're a drug dealer in the
Mhm.
Arizona Greater Phoenix area, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not above that. But yeah,
I'll push any product.
we're on the market. For a new sponsor. So
Yeah. Yeah. It felt good there I knew it was always junk. Like it wasn't really legit, but it was like, hey, it's something. We got to start off every episode with a ad from DraftKings. I mean, it's a big name. Kevin
yeah,
Hart does their commercials, It was it felt good. It made it feel a little more real, even though it wasn't real. But yeah, that was a message I got last week. So I don't really know where we're going to go from here. I don't really want to go back to the old way we did things. We could pay whatever it is a month to get the accounts back that we need. I think it would be like $40 a month. I mean, I could probably swing into my budget, but I don't really want to put a lot of money into something that's not really giving a lot back. So I don't know. We'll see. I was telling you before we got the draft video coming up that we're going to do. I'm way looking forward to that. Maybe we start doing more things like that. Maybe more shorter, quick videos, especially in the off season. And then once the season comes along, who knows? But I don't know. What do you think? Where do we go from here?
I think going forward, because what seems more fun to me is what we're going to be doing for the draft. Which granted we haven't done it yet, so we don't know how hard it's going to be. But what seems more fun is that style of content, whatever you want to call it. I think more quick videos is probably going to be in our budget. I think that the podcast itself, it might die. Who knows? It might die. It could. There's a very strong possibility that could happen. I don't want it to, but you never know. I mean, we might work something out, but we'll see. But I think that there'll definitely be some sort of video / audio content continuing.
I think just the hardest thing with doing this, I think it might just because it's the off season. I don't really find an issue during the regular season when we're doing this. Like, it's just once a week. We actually have consistent things to talk about that are relevant. It's hard to get on here and talk about D-Hop getting traded every single fucking week. I mean, how many times are you going to give your same opinion on that over and over and over again until it happens? Or what are we going to do with the third overall pick? Let's talk about it for 6 fucking months. I don't know, man. Take Will Anderson or trade back. How many times can you go over the same thing?
Right.
Granted, the Cardinals.
Shout out to like Johnny and those guys. I forget what network they're on or what podcast they do. I don't remember what they do.
You mean Johnny Venerable and Joe Breck?
Yeah. Shout out to those guys. That said, it's slipping my mind what podcasts they do. If they belong to network, I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of hard to just come on here every single week during the off season, like you just said, and spew the same bullshit. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to sit here and listen.
If you could keep it fresh, good for you.
Yeah, that's just not something you or I are able to do. So I think come opening week, regular season, whenever the actual season starts, we'll probably start to get more of an itch, more of a buzz, more of a hype for it, and you'll probably see a lot more content put out more regularly. Off season is just kind of hard.
There's stories to talk about too. I mean, to give the Cardinals credit, it's just we'll get into them. It's just nothing really positive, and I am a positive person, but to come on here, I mean, we're going to touch on all the Bidwill stuff, but it's hard to pick up on what's real and what's not. So I don't want to get in here and talk about something for an hour and then be like, oh, that actually wasn't even legit. But another thing. You know who was in my DMs? You guys, I guess I had told you about it earlier. You didn't even know who he was.
Britney Spears.
Listening might know. Mike Jarecki, former Cardinals team reporter, did Cardinals Underground, all the big podcasts that they have, official team podcasts for years. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was let go or he left in the last couple of years. But as I mentioned earlier, I put out uniforms and all that kind of stuff. He just DM'd me out of nowhere. Pictures of the state flag, the draft hats, and some other thing, and said not enough yellow. And I was like, Mike, I don't really know exactly what you're referring to, but if it's about my uniforms, then
I'm thinking now that I hear it like spoke again, maybe he was referring to the draft hats, saying there wasn't enough yellow on the draft hats.
I kept going because I messaged him back. I'm not going to be a dickhead, despite his reputation. And it's like, Mike, I think people are reading a little too hard into the yellow thing. But I don't know. I just put out jerseys that I like, and he was like, fuck, what did he say? It was like, something like your uniforms aren't even close. ... Okay, man. I don't know what you want for. I don't know what you really want from me. I said, "Oh, so you've seen them? Send me the leaks. Show me the pictures of them if you know what they look like." And he was like, "Honestly, I haven't seen them yet. I'm just going off of what I heard. Have a good day." And I was like, "What was the point of this interaction? Like, I don't really know. You just want to shit on my designs? Whatever." Mike Drecke, I mean, he blocks everybody. He's kind of
Actually, I think
been
he's
off
blocked
the
me.
ledge. Yeah, I mean, if you say anything towards him, he block. I don't know. He's a weird guy in the little Cardinals Twitter universe. But
He's the Kanye of the Cardinals.
actually, that's a very good comparison for those that
Yeah.
don't know.
You're welcome.
So yeah, not a fan of my uniforms. Not enough yellow. Anyway, before we get deeper into uniforms, the Michael Bidwill story that came out yesterday. Former Cardinals executive, don't have his name off the top of my head.
Tom something, maybe.
Yeah, came out and said that Bidwill created a hostile work environment. He was extremely rude to minority employees. He made a 7-month pregnant woman cry because he was screaming at her. A bunch of, I mean, very bad things that you don't want to read. And then the Cardinals came out and put out a response that was 17 paragraphs long with 0.2 font. I could not read, but I kind of got the spark notes out of it. They basically just trashed this former employee, came out and threw dirt about him not paying child support and something about domestic violence,
The
saying he
Cardinals
was
account said that?
estranged. Their PR team put out a response to what he was saying. All this like weird, and they had it ready. That thing came out within an hour or two of the claims, like, so they must have knew it was coming. It was a very weird look. I'm sure the NFL is going to investigate it. It was also in there that Michael Bidwill used a burner phone during the 2018 season when Keim was suspended for games to start that year. He would use a burner to keep in contact with Steve Keim, and also told executives below him, "Hey, if you need anything, use this. Reach out so we can keep in contact with Steve." Bidwill also denied that and said that was all just people underneath him, and they were punished at the time whenever they found out that there was wrongdoings there. So the word that they used was cheating during the 2018 season. I don't think that really helped. They won 3 games that year. That was a 3-13 Josh Rosen year. What's your thoughts on all of that information that I just piled on top of you?
Yelling at pregnant women, not good. That one seems like the furthest reach. The burner phone, I 100% believe. That seems
Yeah,
like right up his alley.
I'm sure a lot of teams do that.
That seems like right up his. He probably watched like some kind of episode of like CSI or SVU or something like that, and
He
saw
is
these.
a total cable network, like local cable network watcher.
Yeah,
Like NCIS, Law, and all those things that come on ABC, NBC.
yeah.
That's
He's
right
watched
up Michael
he watched
Bidwill's
some
alley.
detective show that's been on for like 20 years and it's been running for like 18 years too long, and saw them use burner phones. It's like, fuck, I could do that. And then he did it.
I think I can pull this off.
That I agree. I would 100% believe that's real. But what are you cheating for? To get the first pick in the draft? Like, you trying to lose? Hey, if you're trying to lose games, keep in contact with Steve Keim. Then that was the purpose.
It all worked out.
The whole I saw some kind of racial stuff in there too.
Yeah.
And that's just so hard, just because you never know. I mean, you just don't know. Obviously, all that stuff's terrible. If that was the case, it's terrible. He needs to, be reprimanded in some way if that is true. But that stuff in particular is kind of hard to comment on, just because it's very serious, and you don't want to hurt any feelings or discredit anything, you know. But if true, bad look and terrible, and should be
I will
reprimanded.
say I do think he plays a big part in the minority coaching programs that they do. Like every offseason, the beginning of offseason, I remember we talked about it prior to the Cardinals hiring Gannon, that I want to say the Cardinals hosted. Maybe that's wrong, but there's a minority coaching program. It's like a big program or conference where young and up and coming black coaches or whatever, minority coaches all meet and they network with team owners, GMs, and just kind of talk and feel out, get to know each other. So when GM openings, coaching openings come up, that they kind of have an idea who they are, and it kind of helps them excel and get into better positions. So I mean, I've always heard that he's very good about those kind of things. So to hear that kind of stuff is kind of raised your eyebrow, like, huh, I didn't know if that had it in him. But I mean, like you said, you can't say that it's not true. I mean, if somebody's saying it, there's where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's all very shitty. And another thing, another blemish on the Cardinals. I was thinking on the drive home from work, like whenever you like maturing is realizing that your team's success, like your favorite team's success, has actually so little to do with the guys that are on the field in that given moment and almost everything to do with up top owners, executives, GMs, because you might get lucky and have a 2015 run when you just ran into all this talent. You got Fitzgerald and Tyrann Mathieu and like Calais Campbell, Carson Palmer, and it all just clicks for that 1 year. But when you've got the Cardinals as a perfect example, going back generations of the same family, it's always been a Bidwill family, no championships to show for it, very few playoff appearances, a handful of playoff wins, one Super Bowl appearance. Like the consistent thing is the guy that's at the top. And if that never changes, then the success is never going to change. Like that's just the way it is. And it's a hard truth when you sit down and you watch the same team year in, year out, and you get your hopes up and blah, blah, blah. You might get lucky for a season, 2 seasons, 3 maybe. But if that same like failure is at the top, then most likely you're never going to hit that sustained year in and year out success that you see from the Steelers, Packers, Patriots, Ravens even. And that just is the hard truth and the rut that Cardinals fans find themselves in. And the realization I had on the commute home from work, and I shed a tear because I realized we're never getting out of this. But
yeah, that's very true.
I digress.
That's very true. I've never really thought about it that way. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a shitty spot. I feel like these. I also saw with this new like franchise ranking system that was put in place this offseason. They were 31st in. You might have to help me out here. You probably know it.
Treating of families was like an
that's what it
F
was.
minus, and I was like, that should be the
They were
easiest thing in the world.
They were like one of 11 teams to not offer a family room in the facility, and like one of 17 teams to not offer daycare for the players or for the employees. It was something like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which that is what it is, but it's scary because it
all
has
starts
been
at the top, man.
yeah, it has been it's a family owned franchise.
Oh, he'll sell that over his dead body. There's
Yeah.
no chance that the Cardinals ever leave the Bidwill family unless he's forced out, like Snyder is with the Commanders.
I just
And
still
even
can't.
him, he's not really even like they're not as pedal to the metal on him. It might be more behind the scenes, but you don't hear anything about the NFL like forcing his hand, even though that's probably what's happening. It seems like they're saving face a little bit and kind of letting him take the highest. It's not like they're taking the franchise from him, even though that is somebody that it absolutely needs to happen. He's a terrible person. But Bidwill, unless that happens, the NFL comes and says, we are taking this from you, it'll never leave, as it shouldn't. Like it's
Never.
I've been watching hella Yellowstone, and it's very Yellowstone vibes. Like it's kind of like their farm. You take that from their dead body, The Cardinals, it's the same thing. You're never going to get it out of his hands unless he croaks and his kids decide, hey, we're selling the Arizona Cardinals. So on top of that, I guess the vibes were already pretty low before that came out. It feels, I mean, tank is like a dirty word, but it felt like the amount of money that they're not spending. They never went out and got a quarterback to play for when Kyler is out the first 6, 7, 8 weeks. And they're letting guys walk. The the vibe feels very negative. Feels like we're going to suck ass, a top 3 pick. Are we being too negative, or is there legitimate concerns with that? Are we being impatient? What do you think?
In my mind, there really hasn't been any. What positives can you take away so far?
The only thing I would say, if you're looking at it from a personnel like standpoint, is this new GM and this new coach are gutting what we have. They're stripping everything down. They're trimming the fat. We just want, it's like when you remodel a house, you just get it down to the frame, or like, we don't want any of this old junk. We want to start with our complete, fresh new vision. If that's the case, then you just have to wait it out, and that's going to take 2 or 3 years before you can see success or not.
Here's a take of yours that I'll regurgitate. Tank this year, get the first pick next year, and you're sitting pretty with that Caleb Williams cat sitting right there,
sexy as hell,
top the draft, right on top of them draft boards. Your quarterback you just signed to a big deal, coming off an ACL tear, hasn't really produced much, never won a playoff game. No one. He has all this bad juju around him. You have the first pick.
I want to stop you right there. You can advocate for Caleb Williams, and this is going to be the fight that I have over the next year. And it's that meme where I think it's Game of Thrones, where the guy's pulling out his sword and he's got all those people running out and he's by himself. I know that there's not going to be other people that are going to be on our side with this, because a lot of people like Kyler, and I like Kyler. I'm not saying take Caleb Williams because I don't think Kyler is a top 10 quarterback. I'm saying you can't not take Caleb Williams because he is the best quarterback prospect since Lawrence Luck. Like, he is that kind of prospect. I didn't even expect to go down this avenue. We've got so long to talk about it because he's not coming out of the draft this year. But this fight that I'm going to fight for Caleb Williams, I will not say bad things about Kyler Murray, because I still think he can be a top 7 quarterback. I just think Caleb Williams can be top 2. I think he can be fucking right there with Mahomes. I don't know, that's crazy to say, but that's just what he looks like when you watch USC games. He looks like Patrick Mahomes is wearing a USC uniform and out there on the field. So I would do it tomorrow if I could. If I signed up, I would sign up for 2 wins and say, oh, Caleb Williams is going to be our quarterback next year. Bad. Maybe we're gonna just quit the podcast anyway, because no one's gonna agree with what I say, and they're gonna come. No,
I see it. I think especially with this upcoming season, it's gonna be a shit show. People are just gonna be so done. Jonathan Gannon's gonna want his own guy. He didn't draft fucking Kyler Murray. He didn't draft this kid.
The executive GM too.
Monty didn't draft this kid.
They always want their own guys. That's how it goes. New
GM,
new coach comes in. They want their fucking guy. What did we say? Stripping it down.
Strip it down. Take out that little 5'8" quarterback that you got.
Hey, we're not doing that. I just said we're not doing that. There's more than one way to go about this. I still love Kyler. I've got his picture right here.
To set the record straight, and give his autograph on a football. I invested 4-figure dollars into his rookie cards. So, to set the record straight, I also enjoy Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. I think he's top at his peak. He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Wow, we just did a Kyler rant, and I thought we weren't going to talk much about him at all.
With that being said, we hope him the best. I think we can win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray. But on the same stroke that you just painted, if the opportunity presents itself and we're in that spot.
Hey, we'll cross this bridge when we get there.
That's right.
Anyway, back to free agency, kind of going along with stripping it down thing. I would prefer them not go and spend a bunch of money on some Band-Aid guys like Chaim always did. I would like them to kind of be smart here. They know they're not contending this year, so they're going to go ahead, save a little bit of this cap money, roll into next year, and then 2024 is the year that you get a healthy Kyler Murray or possibly a rookie Caleb Williams, and you roll that way. So you're going to be setting yourself up to be able to spend next offseason. Big names that the biggest name they signed, Kaiser White, linebacker from Philly. He'll come in and start right away. don't know what the linebacker position is going to look like because I know they brought another one in, but I don't have him in my notes right here. So I think they signed 2 or 3 linebackers to go along with Isaiah Simmons and David Collins. What do we do now? I don't know what happens. I don't know what Isaiah Simmons is going to be doing. Maybe he's going to be safety. I find it hard to believe that if you're picking between David Collins and Isaiah Simmons in a 2 middle linebacker positions, you're starting Kaiser White because you just brought him in, so paid him 3-year contract. You're probably going to start Zayvon Collins there at the other because he's a more traditional middle linebacker. And then we got the same question with Isaiah Simmons that we've had the last 3 years. Where do you put him? What do you do with him? So that's going to be another issue. But we've got a new mind to kind of figure that out and mold him.
Right.
They've signed a few good offensive line pieces, a few bad ones. Dennis Daly from Tennessee, left tackle, the worst tackle in all of football last year. That's not hyperbole. That is the facts. If you allowed the most pressures per drop back, the most sacks, terrible player. So there's a guy that we just got, I guess Monty saw something in him because he was also in Tennessee, obviously. So we brought back Beach. He's probably going to be starting. Will Hernandez. I would imagine he's battling for a starting guard spot. Prater will be our kicker again. Woohoo. Corey Clement is back. Greg Dortch is back. That's sick. Zeke Turner, I feel like he's been around for 100 years playing special teams and taking snaps away from Isaiah Simmons. David Blau, probably going to start the first 6 games, I guess. I don't know. Antonio Hamilton will be back. Losses, we lost Byron Murphy and Zach Allen. Those are the 2 big ones. I would say I mentioned this on the TCR podcast. I was a guest on there. I did a draft preview. Go check it out. It sucks because I think they both got paid money that we weren't willing to pay, but it sucks because those are exactly the kind of guys that you want to keep, guys that you drafted yourself, you developed yourself. When it comes time for payday, you hope to be in a position where you're competing and you're able to fork out a little bit of money to keep them. The Cardinals in this case are regressed hugely, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to overpay, I guess, but it's just kind of like a lose-lose spot because I don't think Byron is worth the money he got, and I think Zach got a little overpaid. We're just not in a position to where we can match anything because we're not in a position where we're going to compete.
I think it was a smart deal. You know, you don't want to pay a mediocre. They weren't mediocre. Byron was a good player.
Above average. Byron was healthy. He's a very good player.
Yeah, I think I really always liked Byron. You know, he kind of held that secondary together at times when there was really nothing, no players in the secondary. He kind of held it down himself. I think he deserved the money he got. I think he was slightly overpaid, same with Zach Allen. But I don't think it would have been smart because, you know, you're going to bring these guys in. You're going to have to pay them that big money that they got for what? You know, to win 3 games, to rot in this roster for the next however many years. Yeah. You know, I don't think it was a bad move to not re-sign.
Yeah. Similar to what you said about Kyle, like those aren't Monty's guys. He didn't handpick them. Like, so he's not going to pay above market value for someone that he didn't develop and he doesn't know as well. So Zach Allen is the hard one, I think. I think like these new uniforms that are coming, I was considering a Zach Allen jersey whenever they came out.
Yeah, I think it helps.
Like, I love the way he played. He was fun, that little sack dance. He was getting better every year. He had another little bit of health issues too. But if he stayed healthy, I think he's a guy he's very good against a run, and he can get you double-digit sacks. So he's young. Yeah, that one sucked. I
think it helps that you have two of you're at the 3rd spot in the draft. You're in a position to draft a generational defensive lineman in Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, you know, on the edge. I think that kind of made that decision a little bit easier.
Sure.
But also I think he was overpaid. I think he was more overpaid than Byron was.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into strategy for the draft. I don't know if that's played a huge part in their decision. But DeAndre Hopkins, oh man, He's worth the second rounder. No, it's only going to be a third. No, they're lucky to be getting a fourth, if anything. No, they're just going to have to cut him. They don't have any other options. That's this train that the Cardinals are going at, and it fucking blows my mind. It doesn't make any sense. They're acting like he's 35 years old. He just turned 30. Like, the fact that the Cardinals aren't going to be able to get a second round, third round pick for him, it doesn't make any sense.
How many more years does he have on his deal? Just one, right?
No idea. 2 maybe, but he's also getting paid like his salary for this year is higher than any other receiver. I think it's like north of $27 million.
Since we have so much cap space, we're obviously not going to do anything with it. What does it hurt to just keep him? If we're not going to be able to get the price that we want for him, what does it hurt to keep him?
I hope that's what they do.
In reality, it doesn't make any sense. We're not going to be using the cap space that he's going to be taking up for anything, obviously.
I agree.
So if we're not going to be able to get the value out of him that we think is deserved, to me it makes more sense to just hold on to him, pay him what the contract. I mean,
one of the weird counterpoints to the whole Bidwill thing we talked about earlier is that he prides himself on treating the player treating them fairly on their way out. Like he granted cuts to guys when they wanted to leave. Like, I think that might be a piece of it where he's not going to hold him hostage in this situation. Like, he's not, unless it comes down to they can get nothing. I think if it comes down to cut him or hold him hostage, he's going to hold him hostage because you cannot cut DeAndre Hopkins. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What if we did this? What if we said, hey, Billy Boy, Mr. Belichick, New England, I know other Billy Boy, William O'Brien, is over on your staff now. D-Hop, they kind of butt heads a little bit, but he wants out of here. I think he's willing to patch those differences with O'Brien to come play for you, Bill. Bill says, okay, what would you like in return? Monty says, this, give me a third-round pick this year and Bailey Zappi because we don't have a quarterback for 6 games. Would you say yes? Yes, Bill, I'll take that deal. Or no, fuck right off.
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I think as far as what the media is saying he's worth, that the Patriots will be getting fucked on that deal. I think Bailey Zappi holds some sort of value trade-wise.
We'll also pay half his contract for this year. Cardinals will.
Either way, I think
you're still paying $13 million or whatever, so that's a lot.
You know, that would be a fun scenario, and I wish they would have just gotten fucking
Minshew?
Gardner Minshew. That would have been fucking awesome. That would have put some asses in seats if they had Minshew for the first 6 games. But I don't hate the idea of that's not gonna happen. But I just think that they need to retain him. Just keep him. Keep him. You're not going to get anything for him, so why not keep him? He's a guy that also can put asses in seats. Why not keep him? Dude, if they cut him, that would be terrible. If they cut him, that's god awful.
He obviously doesn't want to be here. I mean, that's not really our problem, but that's a motivator as well. Like, if he doesn't want to be here, then you look to get whatever you can for him. If you can't get anything, then
I'm tired. The fucking NFL is not the NBA. He signed a fucking contract to be here. So, unless he gets traded or released, he's going to be here. That's how it works. That's how a contract works.
Now to what we've been hinting at the whole time. New uniforms have been confirmed.
Wow.
Kyle Odegaard, a much more trustworthy source than a previous source that had said it earlier, confirmed that they will be coming before the draft. The long nightmare, he said, is over. Are you nervous? I'm so fucking nervous. If they suck, then dude, I've been making these jerseys for like 2 years.
You've been making Cardinal jerseys since you were like 8 years old.
I've always disliked the current ones. They're ass, and everyone in the league knows that they're the worst. Like, if they were to fuck this up somehow, instead of just going with this jersey right here, you can't even see the sleeves or anything, just that era, clean it up, make it more modern with the Nike template and everything. That shit would look so clean. I don't know what you do with the red, if that's exactly the template, because I don't think they just go back to that era where it was just literally red with white numbers. I think they'd add a little bit something to it, but that's got to be something like that. And so help me God, all these yellow motherfuckers that keep saying, yeah, not enough yellow. All of a sudden, yellow is. I've been in this Twitter world of Cardinals new uniforms for years, and no one has talked about yellow ever up until the last month. Whenever people are starting to try and put the pieces together with draft hats and bullshit, fuck yellow. That's not cool at all. Give me red, black, and white. Maybe a gray color with it. The yellow is
a creamy white.
a Cardinal's bird beak isn't even fucking yellow. It's just the cartoon version. Look, Google a picture of a Cardinal. The beak ain't yellow.
Black.
I don't know, red, black, whatever, but it's not
black.
yellow. Promise you that. So I am so ready. This won't be our last podcast ever. I know that because we will do I will zoom in as close as I can and nitpick every inch of these things. PHNX claims to be huge. I will talk about the new uniforms when they come out for 4 hours. If you can turn your screen off, I don't care. I'm so excited. I'm nervous as fuck because I have a bad feeling that they're going to try and go dumbass modern gradient fucking bullshit like the Falcons did. And if that's the case, we start the new uniform trend right back over.
Could you imagine if these uniforms come out and they suck and then they go like 2 and 15? Could you imagine how
the
bad
worst year of Cardinal football ever?
If the uniforms suck and they go 2 and 15, that would be the biggest test of fandom. I think
we're getting tested so hard already.
Of loyalty fandom.
I do credit them for not doing anything on April Fools. Everybody knew that new uniforms are coming, but they didn't like take that bait and put out some, you know what I mean? Like, here's our new uniforms for 2023. Surprise. And they're like, it would have been an easy way to get big Twitter interaction, and they did not go that route. So I'm glad that they're keeping it high and tight. I have DM'd with sources. I've got somewhat legit sources who say that they have seen the helmet. They have seen the new helmet. I don't know if should I give this out. I will because it's not a lot. They didn't even see it with the face mask on. But picture the black helmet with the red flakes or whatever, except the new helmet, main helmet will be white with like silver flakes. What's that do for you? Same logo.
That would insinuate that
it's not throwbacky, that it's new.
Yeah, that would insinuate it's going to be modern. Newer. To me, that insinuates they're going to dive heavily into the black theme.
I just am not. I'll put up a couple here. Just ones I like. One that I didn't even make one that I like the most. I should have sent you these beforehand. But one, Andrew Lind from, I think it's Sports Logos. He works. I think he's got like 20,000 followers on Twitter. He made these. He does a really cool incorporation on the sleeves of the main colors are red, just red, gray, and white. So it's kind of like picture like the Packers style striping, except it's gray and white with the base color red. The new numbers are kind of modern, and then the Nike signs are yellow. So it's not a bunch of yellow. At the bird that you see on the helmet, it's like gray. Fuck that. Just keep it the red normal bird. But that one I think is my favorite. I'll put up mine and that I made of Kyler there. And who was the other third one? I don't know who the guy is on Twitter. Sorry, he's not ever going to see this anyway. But these were another good one that I liked as well. They're kind of boring, a little simple. They did. I don't know if you've seen them. It was like this Arizona flag was kind of the shoulders, but it was a base red jersey, and then the flag like sun rays were just a barely darker red, so it wasn't very poppy. And basically the rest was just kind of plain, simple red, white, like. But hey, you check out the video after the Scared if you want to see him. I'll plug him in.
My hands down favorite ones are the modernized throwbacks. With it's kind of almost like an off-white with the darker red numbers, and then you have the flag I think on one or both of the shoulders, and then with like a just clean Nike sign.
The issue with the flag is that it looks fucking awesome with the whites. Like there might not be a better uniform in football if we brought back the away whites would look chef's kiss, beautiful. The red doesn't work. It doesn't. The red jersey with the flag on the side, if they're able to pull it off somehow, credit to you. But I haven't figured out a way to make it look natural because it's got that blue in it, and the blue. I tried to incorporate it on some of my mocks with the a blue
You would
sleeve.
almost have.
It just doesn't work.
You'd almost have to have like blue outlining on the numbers.
You'd have
Like
to lean
that.
into it pretty heavy
Yeah.
because it looks. If you just were to go with like a small blue stripe, or that might be a good point. If you incorporated it more, then maybe it would work. It just looks
Yeah.
so out of place. Like whenever I tried to throw that in there, so I avoided it a lot. A lot of mine, I put like just a flag, like state flag patch here, or I made like something around the collar with the flag, which I thought looked cool. Very not too much in your face, just kind of plain simple, which is what we need after all the biggest problem with the current ones is all the random striping and piping. It's very 2005 when they came out. Picture rookie Adrian Peterson Vikings jerseys, Michael Vick Falcons jerseys, like just random stripes and shit everywhere. That's so not necessary. So they're coming. I expect them, I'd say a good week before the draft. You think they're going to want to have them out so people can buy them before the draft? Because I hope so.
I would think so.
I would like to have that by the time we go to Kansas City.
Yeah, me as well.
Unless they're dog shit, then I won't buy
Yeah,
them.
if they suck, we know it also sucks because I literally just got a brand new fucking Buda Baker jersey.
That's true.
Christmas.
Yeah.
That sucks. But
They should do a refund thing. The NBA does that. They do a discount. Like if your favorite player gets traded, if you just bought like a Kawhi Leonard Spurs jersey and he was this circa 2017, whatever, and he gets traded to the Raptors, you can exchange your Kawhi jersey for a different Spurs jersey. Kind of cool. At
Maybe
Roger Goodell. Did I have anything else for today? Maybe not. Said it time and time again. Going to Kansas City, we'll have some shit going for that. Vlog, try and do a podcast from there. But yeah, as far as the future of the show goes, we have no idea. We'll for sure have something figured out by next year or a decision made by next start of the next season. But I do want to make sure we do an all-time defense draft with that again. Since we did offense, we'll do defense this offseason. So that's another episode we can do this offseason. I'll have to do a post-draft one, a new uniform episode. There's 3 episodes right there. We can fill the offseason. We can make it.
Yeah.
We'll just have to figure out how we're going to do it, with what tools. Look at us bitching. We could just do it on our phones. It just won't look very cool or sound very cool. I digress. Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows? New unis could drop tomorrow, and maybe we'll be right back. But I don't know. You might not see us until the draft. We'll see. Fuck DraftKings. Anything else for today, Garrett?
Nope, you hit it on the nail. Fuck DraftKings, and that's on baby.
We could never even use it, you dummies. We're in Missouri. What's wrong with you? You should have known that from the start. Oh,
we
well.
could never use it.
Good times. Good conversation here. I hope you all liked it. Like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter. And yeah, till next time, go Birds.